Would you believe me if I told you the only film to make me cry multiple times is an animated film featuring stick figures? This week's movie is Don Hertzfeldt's It's Such a Beautiful Day, a 2012 animated feature exploring themes of existentialism and loss through the life of a man named Bill, whose life is quickly decaying as he suffers through a memory disorder. Don Hertzfeldt expertly hides the philosophical aspects of his work behind the crudeness of his animation style. His breakthrough was titled Rejected, a short film consisting of failed commercial concepts. Though the commercials are consistently silly, a framing device explores the failing psyche of the creator as he faces rejection after rejection, until his own creations likewise fall apart. Despite its surface simplicity, Rejected earned an Oscar nomination for Best Animated Short. It's Such a Beautiful Day is actually a compilation of 3 earlier episodic shorts. Though viewed as his first feature, the film is a brisk 62 minutes. Despite its brevity, Hertzfeldt packs a lot of heavy concepts. Every minute counts. It's Such a Beautiful Day is one of the greatest examples of cinematic minimalism. Looking through its credits will reveal only 3 names: Sarah Cushman for a brief speaking line, Brian Hamblin for editing, and Don Hertzfeldt for everything else. This is as close to a one-man project a feature film has come. It's Such a Beautiful Day in many ways operates as a rejection of certain film theories. There are many techniques incorporated throughout the picture that are typically viewed as distancing. For example, instead of allowing Bill to directly speak, Hertzfeldt narrates the story. Many scenes last only a few seconds, just enough to get a concept across. The imagery itself contains little to truly grasp onto, yet the lack of detail actually creates a more personal connection. By leaving Bill such a blank slate, Hertzfeldt allows us to imagine anyone in his place. Though many scenes are presented as if Hertzfeldt is running out of time, as this truly is a story about the impact of time, the film takes a few key moments to simply linger on a specific image. One scene finds Bill staring out the bus window as it rains. This shot lasts for well over a minute, a rare glimpse of beauty as promised in the title. A lot of the visceral impact of It's Such a Beautiful Day occurs through its editing style. Hertzfeldt rarely fills the entire screen with the main scene, instead allowing moments to be surrounded by darkness. During moments of chaos, several images will be running at the same time.
Lizards on animals at higher altitudes are unpredictable.
Why don't you come over here and sit on my lap?
Hertzfeldt appears to borrow a lot from experimental films that came before him. Looking through his use of actual footage, it's easy to imagine the works of Brakhage or Kubelka being influences. Though those earlier works are largely abstract, Hertzfeldt manages to give meaning through association. One shot in particular has always stood out to me. As Bill loses more of his memories, we are given a glimpse of a woman lying in bed before flickering away. Whether intentional or not, this has always brought to mind the key moment in Chris Marker's La Jetée. La Jetée is a short film consisting almost entirely of still imagery, except for one key scene where a woman opens her eyes while lying in bed. What was the one moment of relief in La Jetée is corrupted here into a moment of sadness and loss. What always leaves me so vulnerable while watching this film is the way Hertzfeldt effortlessly shifts between comedy and tragedy. Hertzfeldt knows exactly how long to draw each moment out, and you never quite know which way it's going to turn until it happens. Though existentialist works have a tendency to border the nihilistic, Hertzfeldt instead takes a more humanistic approach. When the subject matter gets so dark he can no longer twist a tragic moment toward comedy, Hertzfeldt instead turns to hope. Perhaps this is the key to why this movie can bring me to tears. Hertzfeldt isn't exploiting trauma, but rather exploring methods of coping. Much like The Forbidden Room, It's Such a Beautiful Day is a prime example of how far creativity can stretch beyond the need for a massive budget. In fact, the film almost feels like a taunt. From the outset, and even in reflection, nothing about the pieces that make up this movie feel like they should work. But taken as a whole, there's a smoothness of intent that few creators are able to tackle, even with an endless pile of money. Hertzfeldt has created a more emotionally resonant film than nearly any other out there, and he did it with a stick figure man named Bill. And that is It's Such a Beautiful Day, an animated film that will absolutely rip every expectation you have of cinema to shreds, a raw embodiment of visceral human emotion.